Okay, so today we're finishing up the distance and midpoint new information, right? We've talked about the distance formula, which is just basically the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. We solved it for the c, and then we plugged in a and b being the difference of the x's, difference of the y's. Then we had the midpoint formula, which is just finding that midpoint, which is just the average of the x's and the average of the y's. Average of the x's, average of the y's. So today we're going to look at how can we find a missing endpoint if all we have is the midpoint and one of our endpoints. Okay, so looking to find the other endpoint. Okay, so today we're looking for a lost endpoint. We're given the midpoint. We know where the midpoint is. So we can extrapolate from that where that second endpoint is. Alright, so there's a couple ways we can go about doing this. Right? So all of today, you're going to be doing both of these on your assignment. So we're given x sub 1, y sub 1, and x sub m, y sub m. One endpoint, one midpoint. And we're looking for x sub 2, y sub 2, the other endpoint. Okay? Then we can just simply take that midpoint, multiply it by 2, subtract the given endpoint. Take the endpoint, multiply it by 2, subtract the other endpoint. Take the midpoint, multiply it by 2, subtract the given endpoint. Okay? It's a simple formula. We can just plug it in. Alright, the second way we can find a missing endpoint, right, is we can kind of take a step back and think of it like we're dealing with slope. Think of it like we're dealing with slope. Okay, we make this little T chart. X in the left, Y in the right. Then we just have x sub 1, x sub m. So we can find that change in x. We can find the delta x. We can find the delta y. We can find that change in y. Then we can just apply that change to the x and to the y to get the second endpoint. We just apply that change. So we find the original change and then we just do it again. We just say, this is how we go from here to here. So I'm just going to do it again to this. And that's going to be my end.